So most people, they think that building wealth is all about earning more money, but honestly, it's not. And I say this from experience because I've personally met people who've been earning like £30,000 and they're completely on top of their finances and they're quietly building wealth in the background. And then also at the same time, I've met people who have been earning like multiple six figures and then they still feel broke at the end of the month. So what's the difference? It's not their salary, it's the system that they have. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see people making all of the time. And I also used to do this myself. It's basically you're trying to run your entire financial life through one bank account. So the salary goes in there, the bills come out of there, savings sit in there, and you're basically also trying to invest from there. So everything all in one place. And then because of that, you lose track of your money, you miss out on interest, and you end up paying tax that you didn't need to pay. And they make building wealth so much harder than what it actually needs to be. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact account structure that I believe every financial responsible adult in the UK should have in 2026. Not because you need loads of accounts, but because every single pound that you have, it should have a job. Right, so I want you to think about your money like a team. If every single player on the pitch is trying to do every single job at the same time, it's going to be absolute chaos, right? Nobody knows what they're doing. One person's doing this, another person's doing that, and it's just all jumbled up. But when everybody has a clear role, the whole team just flows. Everybody knows what they're doing. So instead of asking yourself the question, what accounts do I need? I want you to flip it and I want you to ask yourself, what job needs to be done with my money? So I'm going to break this down like into 6 stages. So you've got spending, you've got protection, you've got tax efficiency, you've got home ownership, you've got wealth building, and you've also got retirement. So I'm going to take you through each one of them. Okay, stage 1, this is going to be your spending account. So your current account, this is basically going to be your mission control. So your salary is going to land in here, your bills are going to leave from here, and your day-to-day spending, it all happens from this account. But here's the thing, and this is the mistake that I see people making all of the time. Your current account is not a savings account. So loads of people, they've got thousands of pounds just sitting there in their current account doing absolutely nothing. It's not earning any interest. You're basically getting zero for it. And its job is not to grow your money, the current account. Its job is to basically manage cash coming in and cash coming out. That is it. What I'd personally look for in a current account is, number 1, do they have like a really good app? Do they have spending insights so you can actually see what's going in and what's coming out of your account? Do they have like any budgeting tools? Do they have pots or spaces where you can basically move your money about? And do they have solid customer support? So banks like Monzo, Starling, Chase, they're also quite popular because they make it so much easier so you can actually see where your money's going. And that awareness that you have, that's literally one step of taking control of your finances. Stage 2, protection account, so your emergency fund. Now, before you even think about investing, before you even think about building wealth, before you even try to beat the stock market or whatever it is that you're trying to do, you need protection first. Because life happens, and life happens when you least expect it. The boiler breaks, the car breaks down, you may lose your job, something unexpected comes up. It always does. That's a part of life. So that's why every single adult, they need an emergency fund. That needs to be money sitting in an easy access savings account. So at the moment, and obviously this changes, this fluctuates, the current savings account are paying maybe like around between 4 and 5% in interest, depending on the provider and the conditions. So your emergency fund doesn't just have to sit there in your current account doing absolutely nothing. It can actually be there earning money for you and staying accessible whilst you need it. So the goal here is not to grow it massively. Obviously, getting something on it is better than nothing. So the goal here is about safety and you being able to have access to it. It needs to be in an easy access savings account. So think of this account like your financial insurance policy. So now here's the thing, so most people stop right there. So they get a current account, maybe a savings account, and they think, yeah, I'm sorted, I'm all sorted out. But this stage, this is where a lot of people unknowingly lose money to tax without even realizing it. Stage 3, cash ISA. So a cash ISA basically is a savings account, but with superpowers, how I like to call it. So the interest that you earn in the account is completely tax-free. And right now, as I'm recording this, you can get maybe like around 4.5%, 5% for your savings account at the moment. And now for higher rate taxpayers, especially, this is really important because savings interest outside of an ISA can actually become taxable once you go over your allowance. And this is the mistake that I see people making all of the time. They're obsessing over like chasing tiny differences in interest rates while completely ignoring, is the account tax efficient or not? So sometimes like a slightly lower rate inside of the cash ISA, it actually means that you're better off overall because you're keeping more of what you earn, you're not being taxed on it. So if you're building up a decent amount of cash savings, this account is seriously worth thinking about. So stage 4, a home ownership account, so a lifetime ISA. Now, if you're planning on buying your first home, you need to listen up, because this could honestly be one of the accounts that could be really valuable to you right now. And here's why. So for every £4,000 that you put in the tax year, the government is going to give you an extra £1,000 on top. That's a 25% return on your money before it's even had a chance to grow anywhere. But there are rules, and you need to listen up carefully to this as well. So there are withdrawal penalties if you use it for something outside of your first home. And there are also property value limits as well. So this account is not going to be right for everyone, but if you are eligible and you're planning to get on the property ladder, then basically, and you're not using a lifetime ISA, you could literally be just leaving free money on the table. But here's the thing, none of the accounts that I've talked about so far were actually designed to make you wealthy. They help you to organize your money, they help you to protect your money, they help you to save your money. But the next account, this is where long-term wealth building actually begins. Stage 5 wealth building account. So a stocks and shares ISA. So this is where investing starts to come in, because here's the truth, saving alone is not going to get you wealthy. You can save as much as you like, but it's not going to build wealth. It's not going to get you to that financial freedom. And saving protects your money's value, but investing is what is going to really grow it. So the beautiful thing about a stocks and shares ISA is that it's an investment that can grow completely tax-free in the UK and without any capital gains tax or without any dividend tax, and it's all within the ISA wrapper, and that is really big. Now, I'm not talking about gambling on individual stocks here, and for most people starting out, a broad diversified index fund, that's a really sensible place for you to begin. And it's basically spreading your money across hundreds, sometimes even thousands of companies all at once. That's all that means. Sometimes the words sound a lot more fancy than what they actually are. And all it means is you're just not putting all of your eggs in one basket. So I want you to have this key mindset shift. And what I want you to think is, saving is for money that is what you're going to need relatively soon. And investing is money that you're not going to need for years, preferably the longer the better. I would say if you're investing a minimum 5 years, but I'll really say 10 years plus is like ideal. So they've got different jobs, you've got different accounts, and you've got different purposes. Okay. Stage 6, future freedom account. Pensions. Right, let's talk about pensions for a second here. Let's talk about your future for a second, because one day the paychecks that you're receiving now, they are going to stop. They just do. But the question is, when that day comes, will money still keep on coming in for you? If you're employed in the UK and you meet the criteria, you are automatically enrolled into the workplace pension, and your employer has to contribute too. That's basically essentially free money. So opting out of a pension, this is a decision that you want to think really carefully about. Don't be like me, because I didn't understand this stuff when I first started, and I opted out of my pension. I was like, no, I'd rather have like a bit of extra money rather than, you know, paying them a few extra £100 every month. What I didn't realise was I was leaving free money on the table every single month. So please do not be like me. And also, if you're self-employed, you want to look at something called a SIP, which is a self-invested personal pension. This is basically where you are in control of the money that you have invested. And one thing a lot of people don't realise is the full new state pension is £241.30 a week, and that's if you qualify for the full amount. And for most of us, that money on its own, that is not going to, you know, fund the kind of retirement that you actually want to live. Can you even survive on that amount? Because I know that I couldn't. And this is why I harp on all of the time about investing, which is why exactly building your own private pension and your savings matters so much, because you can't just be there relying on the government. Because can you survive on under £250 a week for all of your living needs? Because as I said, I know for me, I can't. So future freedom is built in years before you even actually ever think about retiring. So if we just zoom out all of the way, I know that I've said a lot in this video. So here's the full system laid out simply. So stage 1, current account. This is going to be your mission control. Stage number 2, this is your emergency fund savings account. So this is for your protection. Stage 3, this is your cash ISA. This is your tax-free savings. Stage 4, you've got your lifetime ISA if you're planning to buy your first home. Stage number 5, you've got your stocks and shares ISA. This is your wealth building engine. And stage 6, this is your pension. So this is your future freedom fund. So the takeaway from this message is, every single pound that you have in that account, it should have a purpose. Give purpose to your money. When your money has a job, everything just gets so much more easier. Financial decisions get clearer. Savings get easier. Investing gets easier. And building wealth starts to feel a lot more intentional and a lot less overwhelming. So I'd love to know, which one of these accounts have you already got, and which one are you going to set up next? Drop it in the comments below, because I genuinely read every single one of them. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like and subscribe button, because I've got so much more coming for you, and I'll see you in the next one.